Hi guys, I have another idea, so I thought I'd pop in and share it with you. I have my Technique Junkies Shamrock stamp already set up. I have a piece of white cardstock that's 4¼ by, nope, I'm sorry, 4 by 5¼ so just shy of an A2 card. And I thought this would be fun to do. This is not going to be perfect, but I thought I don't really care. I just wanted to see what it would look like, and you can tune into my really brilliant idea or my hot mess. So so I thought this would be fun. I wanted to have shamrocks, but I didn't want them all to be the same color. Obviously, I want them to be green, but I want them to be different. So what I did is, or what I'm doing is taking an ink spot, which is very small, obviously, and ooh, look at that. I'm coming in and stamping shamrocks in different colors. And I think in the end this is going to turn out kind of cool. Maybe not. We'll find out. So the tricky part is just trying to figure out which shamrocks you've done and which ones you haven't done. It's okay. We can stamp them again and again. Well, I think this is going to be cool when it's done. So I'm just trying to kind of map out a pattern here. Not a pattern. I don't want it to look like a pattern, but like I have a couple in here, so I'm going to put some green ones here. I have one over here, so let's do some green over here, dark green over here. Again, I don't want it to look like a pattern. I just balanced. I want it to look balanced, so I have a little bit of dark green. See, I don't like how that is, though. So what I'm going to do is come back in here and kind of, I don't want it to be like a sharp edge. That's the only one that I've had that's really been sharp. So I'm just going to take and soften that a little bit with my towel, taking some of the ink up. Hopefully that'll soften that a little bit. Let's do that again. Okay, I can live with that. Let's grab another green. All right, so let's come in here. Let's see this. When in doubt, go ahead and stamp what you have to see where your empty spots are. Oh, I like that shade. This is Forest from Hero Arts. So let's come in here. And don't be afraid if you feel like you got somewhere you don't want it. Take your towel and dab it off. So let's come in here. I'm going to try to keep this to 3 greens, so I'll have a light, medium, and dark. See how look how awesome that looks. Isn't that cool? I love it. I love that they're starting to mix. And you can always come back to, like I have that light green. The light green was Lime Green by Hero Arts, and the medium green was Garden Green. So my 3 greens. And this little shamrock here doesn't have any. But I'm pretty much letting the inks do the work for me. Come back in here and doing... So these 3 little ones in here still don't have color. I think I'm going to do a lighter one here. Now I'm just going through and making sure I got all my shamrocks. So this one here is still missing some. So what I'm doing is looking on this stamp and trying to figure out which ones It is. Now, I mean, this is a little bit, but this is going to be a very fast background that's going to make us a really cool card. I think anyway. So this one needs a little bit more. So I really like how that looks. How are you guys feeling about that? Does that look good to you? You like that multicolor? See, isn't it much more interesting than having it all done in one color? I really feel like it kind of brings the background to life. It looks like it's living. You look like you're seeing kind of a sea of plants. It's more interesting. All right, so let's get this out of the way. I'll put my ink cubes up here in case you want to take a screenshot of the colors. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run this through an embossing folder. This one is by Stampin' Up. I can't remember the name, but it's kind of like a linen feel to it, and it's going to make our paper feel more like a fabric. It's going to give it this really cool texture without taking away from all the work that we just did. So I'll show that to you in a second. So now when I open this up, let me see if I can capture the texture. You guys see that? It's kind of like it makes it feel like a fabric. Just adds a really cool little, even on the back. You can feel it and see it. Just gives us a little bit more interest to our card as we're creating. To finish this card off, I matted it on a piece of light green paper and then onto a piece of medium green. If you are from Stampin' Up, I believe this is soft sea foam, and I actually think this is wild wasabi, which is I think no longer available, but I'm sure they have something comparable. And I cut two strips of those same papers, and I'm going to layer them on this card to anchor our sentiment. And I think I'm going to dovetail this one. And one of the things that I've been doing here to dovetail is if you go to the center and you cut up a slit and then go to the corner and cut to the top of the slit, and then do the same thing on the other side, it helps you get an even dovetail, which is really a nice feature. So I'm thinking like that, and then we can use that to anchor our sentiment onto the card. And I wanted to do this in gold because I really wanted to bring in that gold element on the card. So let's glue this down, and then we have a finished card here. So this one's really easy. Okay, so our card is, I mean, you could call this finished. I layered our little pieces down and popped this up, but I also dug out my Nuvo drops, the jewel drops, where they're translucent, which means they're really, they're almost clear with like a tint of green to them. So they're not going to be overly obnoxious, but I decided I wanted to add, see these little dots here, I wanted to kind of pull them in. So I'm going to put some Nuvo dots on the card in the same green. So it's not adding any new color. I'm going to do one here. Figuring out the placement of them is always the tough part, right? Let's see. You always want to do them in a triangle around your sentiment because you want this will pull your eye into this, which is the focal point. So I don't want to do this because it's too like Bermuda triangle. You got, you know, they're too even. So I'm thinking about putting one, let's do it right here. Just going with my gut here. And we got a nice, perfect little Nuvo drop. I love this color. It's so pretty. I love green. Green's one of my favorite colors. So St. Patrick's Day cards are always one of my favorite. If you don't know this trick, if you tap your cards a little bit, it helps make your Nuvo drops look like little domes versus Hershey Kisses. So if you're ever having that issue, just tap it a few times. Well, there we go, guys. Here's another finished card. I'm really glad you guys stopped by. I hope this inspires you to get some embossing folders out and try things. I really love the multi-green background here on this card and the fabric feel of it. Thanks for stopping in, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next card.